Information discussed on Talkin Money with Jeff Tarbell is believed to be from reliable sources. However, no responsibility is assumed for inaccuracies. No statement made on this broadcast should be construed as a specific recommendation of a particular investment product. Views expressed are those of the speakers and do not necessarily represent those of CBS Radio. Use only as directed.
Smiles, everyone. Smiles. And prepare yourself for...
Show me the money!
Ladies and gentlemen, the radio broadcast experience designed to keep your wallet in top condition. It's Talkin Money with Jeff Tarbell.
Talkin Money. Talkin Money.
More money, more money, more money.
And now entering the studio, your guru for fiscal fitness, Jeff Tarbell.
Hi, how you doing?
Hello, hello.
I have to just go with the
It
one ear thing. Oh, there it goes a little bit. Yeah, I got you. Welcome in. We are back live. Our last show of the year, and quite honestly, maybe our last year of the show. I don't. This might be 2014. Might be the wrap up year. That'll put year 10, and you pretty much why break an even number? Why go out with any sort of success? Let's just go out with a complete failure all the way to the ground and write it right to the ground there. So we are back live. We start every show the same way when I think about it, and I actually look at it as Big Mug. Usually when I'm on the road, I butcher it a little bit. But we start out with the 30 seconds from the mind of Christopher Laud. What's happening, big boy?
I'm doing good. Big win for the Kings last night, taking on the Heat. So anytime you beat the Heat, that's awesome. But we had some callers calling in like, oh, my God, the way that they're listening to coach and stuff like that. This team is starting to get it together. Well, they had 22 turnovers last night. Dwayne Wade wasn't playing. Chris Anderson, Birdman wasn't playing. Ray Allen wasn't playing. And they took them to overtime and they won. And good for them. They closed one out. They've been having trouble doing that. They've been getting blown out of a lot of games. So I wouldn't be surprised if they got beaten by 30 by the Spurs tomorrow. But it's a good win, good learning lesson, but this is still the same old Kings.
Yeah, and I'm just looking as you're talking here just above our head here on the studio. It says LeBron James pulled a groin muscle and an ankle problem.
And he was hurt, but you wouldn't know that from his three-pointers in overtime.
It's like if you can fire three-pointers in 6 seconds, why aren't you doing that the whole game? It's just amazing. That guy does. Yeah, I knew you were going to come in this morning. Everybody's going to think we're going to the championship now.
That's right.
We beat the champion.
Watch out. I think we're going to get written into that 8th spot in the playoffs.
That's right. So thanks for joining us on the last day of the year. Hopefully you're out. Let's see what today's. You're probably, a few people probably wrapped it up for the year, taking off next week, taking a few days off. So if you are tuned in today, appreciate that very much. Thank you for doing that. I was nice to play our replay of the Buzz Oates interview last weekend. That was good. I got a lot of good response to that. So if you missed that, you can catch that on our Facebook page if you'd like. And this is it for the year. I have literally a year's worth of stuff stacked in front of me. I don't know which way to go, forward or backwards. But as always, if you're tuned in today and you're on top of your game, or you can just simply dial a phone number or text your number in. John's got some ski passes to
Sierra Tahoe,
and you were actually up there. Did you?
I did. Did you twice last week?
Did you?
I did.
Not just the day we were up there live, but you went
right. I went up the next day also.
Okay, so there is some snow.
It's in very good condition.
Yeah,
just like the SAC B says.
Yeah, what does the SAC B say?
It says, should I quote it?
Sure.
Let me tell you, Lake Tahoe ski area resorts hope to convince would-be skiers and riders that despite the season's scant snowfall, cold temperatures and sophisticated snowmaking operations have resulted in an enjoyable ski experience for visitors.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, because of the cold temperatures, the conditions are way better than you would expect.
Yeah, the snow has got to be staying.
But when it's 65 degrees down here, I understand it's difficult to
go up there
and enjoy it.
Yeah, we need that one big dump to kind of get everybody excited about the season again too. Even my wife last night, who loves the winter, is like, I'm already sick of winter.
Dude, my mom, who lives in Pennsylvania, sent me an article. Did you see this? I'm like, yeah, Mom. It's Folsom Lake.
Yeah,
the city is coming out from underneath the water.
Yeah. It was just
Pennsylvania. Crazy.
And that is, I did kind of a little year-end blog yesterday, which I send out to a number of realtors and a number of financial planners, people that just. I do business with or have associations with, and one of the items on there, which I kind of pointed out in my mind, which is the one that gets overlooked a little bit the most, but for me has always been it's been kind of a strange thing for me, but I have always tied together if we have just a boomer winter. For me, it always seems like the year following that has always been very, very good. Just over, not necessarily for me personally, but just overall economically. And and I just think that maybe it's not rocket science. Maybe it's just a fact. You get more enthusiasm. You get a bigger winter. You get more enthusiasm. What do? We look at all our ski stuff. We go, oh, that stuff's crap. I need to get some more stuff. I mean, there was one year it snowed so much here that I bought 3 sets of skis in the same winter. Because I kept buying one bigger than the next one. It just kept snowing and kept snowing. And I'm like, I finally got to the point I almost had like jump skis. And I mean, but those are the kind of things that are going on. People get excited. They do stuff that bleeds off in the summer. The lakes fill up. People go houseboat. All the things that go on. And for me, it just seems like that you get into a situation where we have now. And now you're talking about, I mean, I'm not going to raise the panic bell yet, but probably should we get it warmed up. We're about ready to have a catastrophe on our hands if we don't get some water. And I mean, you go back and look. I pulled a few links out of. I went back and found some of the articles on the Texas. In 2011, Texas had a phenomenally bad drought year. And you look at just across the economic spectrum of what happened to Texas. I mean, everything along the line was down because of it, and it's bad news. And we've got to figure out what to do about this. And we live in an area that is a highly environmentalist active area, and that's fine. I'm all for, everybody wants clean water and good things, but you know what? I guess if you're the one who's out there fighting water projects and water storage, then we should probably put a red flag on your house. So when the lake goes to a certain level, we come and turn your pipe off first. I mean, if that's what if you're going to fight the progress of storing water, in this state, forget about skiing and all the other things too. Just agriculture alone. We are the number one producers in the world, agricultural products, and that's one of the first things that goes away, is they don't deliver water to farmers. And that trickles down to a lot of economy goes with that. So it's a problem. And we can't control the rain. We can control what we do with it when it does come. So I think for me, looking into 2014, that's one that bothers me a lot, because you can't legislate your way around it. You can't vote your way around it. You can pray your way. You can try to pray your way around it. We'll see if that works. Right. You can do a little rain dance and a few other things too. But beyond that, there ain't a damn thing you can do. And quite frankly, it's a 10-year window. If you want to do something about that issue now, you got to start now for 10 years from now to get something done. And that's if you don't get sued or the project doesn't get derailed or it's not built on a fault line, something like that. So that's a big one. And I think that it gets overlooked a lot. And it may be, this may be the year that gets pointed, smacked in our face a little bit. But what are your big stories of 2013, excuse me? What was the financial story or the financial issue for you in 2013? And what we'll do today, I'll leave our we'll get the text line open. It does look like it's working. 441140. You can just text me a one word, one item. What you think was your big story of 2013, and we'll pick a couple randomly and give them some ski passes today. We can do that. Make sure, please, that if you are texting us and if you want the ski pass, if you don't, you want to just text in. That's great. But if you want to be in contention for a couple ski passes, make sure you either give us your full phone number or your name and address.
We also have the Round Table Pizzas.
We do. And we're going to give out about a dozen ski passes today. So our phone screener in there, who's already getting looped up on her caffeinated coffee there, or tea, so we'll get her pin going, and we'll give away some things during the breaks as well. Clearly, what on top of your head there, John? What do you think is the story of 2013 in your mind?
I'd probably have to say equity position in housing.
Mm-hmm. Easy one for the two of us, because that's the most obvious one to us. And clearly,
which I think was a lot bigger than I had expected.
Yeah, I mean, some of the numbers you look at least locally, 30% plus.
Yeah,
and that's from last year. My wife sending me some text. I'm not going to read that, honey, but that's a good one though. I'll paraphrase for her. If you're going to hire a contractor to do some work on your house, go to the contractor's license board and look them up first, because your idiot host here didn't do that one time, and it backfired on him a little bit. And unfortunately, it resolved itself. Probably for me, it ended up better that I didn't do the project. So I'm not going to.
Everything happens for a reason.
That's right.
Huh?
The small fee, the small penalty, but that's a good one. Is definitely do a little research on who you're going to spend your money with. But I would agree with you, John, that for us, so 12 was decent. 12 was really started to see some turnaround,
Mm-hmm.
and 12 everybody's going like, okay, yeah, this probably isn't going to hold.
Right? Are we going to come out of this?
Yeah.
or
So
not?
everybody coming to 13 going like one eye closed, like one like.
And it came out strong.
Yeah, and so now we're up about a 30% over 12 in some cases. And so now 14, this is another one of the items on my list as far as looking forward. 14, I am not as confident as I was in 13. 13, I was hopeful. 14, I am there's some wind, some headwind for 2014. And one of them
Fairly strong.
Yeah, fairly strong headwind, and one of them is going to be that there's going to be a little more competition for a home seller. So this year if you had a house you could sell this year, and you were like a normal individual seller, not a short sale, not a bank, you had very little competition. In fact, people would hunt you down because they didn't have to wait for short sale approval. If you were in a position to sell, even if you didn't have a lot of equity, you could get a decent price. There just wasn't much to shop from. Now you start taking that through the fourth quarter of this year until right now, more stuff come on the market. And why? Because values are coming up. Now, all of a sudden, John and I, we were both, in 11, we were $100,000 upside down. In 12, we were $50,000 upside down. And in 13, well, damn, we could sell and walk away, and at least not have to pay any money, and or better. So that helps bring more on the market. So why is 14 going to be a little tougher? Well, a couple things on the horizon for next year. And it's always funny when people say, well, I'm not borrowing any money, so it doesn't really bother me. I don't care. It doesn't going to affect me. Well, it doesn't. We're all in the same economy. So the one that's going to put a little headwind toward the market, I think, is some of the rule changes that are coming up for new borrowers. And one of them is called ATR, the ability to repay. That's a law. The law says now that a lender must and is obligated to and or can be sued and or held responsible for ever, not a year, not 12 months of payments, forever, a borrower's ability to repay. And really what they were trying to do is get rid of the stated income loans, where you didn't verify that. So that law is going to put some changes and some clamps down on, some of the expanded abilities of a borrower. So maybe this year, John, I could have qualified John on a conventional loan up to, 47 or 48%. And maybe next year he'll be capped at 42. Or 43%, and maybe his credit score needs a little bit of work. And so instead of John qualifying for a $245,000 house, he's at, 218. So if all of us come down, 5 or 7% in terms of what we can qualify for in order to stay in the
with potentially a higher rate because of the more rules coming out.
That's the part B of the headwind. Now John qualified for 245 at 4%. Now next year rates are going to be, let's say 5%, still a great rate. So that brings him down a little bit. And then now the new laws bring him down a little bit. Now next thing he's 10% less than he was last year. Well, if everybody comes down 10% in terms of what they qualify for, then guess what? If you're a seller sitting there going, hey, I got a house on the market for $250, and everybody just dropped down to $225 in terms of what they qualify, you have two options. You can stay in your house for $250, or you can move on and sell the house for $225. So I don't think we're going to see any big declines in price values, but I think it's going to be awfully hard to push those up at the same kind of pace we've been doing.
Yeah, you might not see that 8, 10, 12, 20 offers sitting waiting for you.
True.
Right.
And the good part of it is if you're on the buyer side of it is that finally there's nothing more frustrating for a buyer to go through the process, get approved, and there's nothing to shop for. Or they feel like, this is how it has been. You've got to make an offer right now on this house. Well, hell, I don't know if I like that house. Give me a day to think.
It's going to be gone in 60 seconds.
Exactly. Give me a day to think about it. Let me drive around the neighborhood. Let me make a good, honest business decision whether I should buy this house. That's coming back. You'll have some time to do that, which is good for you, the buyer. It's going to be at a cost to the seller a little bit. So that's one of the big stories of the year. We can talk about some more of them. Bob just called in, and he said locally the Sacramento Kings staying in Sacramento. Certainly a big local story and a economic story. And now that has a part B to be played out. with the arena, because if there isn't a new arena, I don't think the Kings will be staying here. Then resolve, and I'm sure that the arena issue will work itself out. I just you look at you look at the enormous impact about what that has on a community, and you look at the impact of putting a new facility in and all the things that will come with it, and it's a big deal. And I think it will all come to fruition and work itself out just fine. But it won't be without a little bit of pain, a little bit of mud throwing, I'm sure.
A couple bumps in the road.
So Bob certainly is onto that too. We'll take your calls and questions today too, and if you want to just text us in at 441140, you're welcome to do that. What to you was the big story of the year? Fannie and Freddie Mac will round out our return to home equity. The only program that took out Freddie Mac had just shy of $80 billion in cumulative investment. Fannie Mae had close to $120 billion invested. So between the two of them, $200 billion invested in Fannie and Freddie. And as of last month, Freddie Mac had paid back the entire $80 billion and then some. Fannie Mae was literally just a couple $1 billion short, and that was a few months ago. That's probably been paid back by now. Probably, I will bet you, the only program to date that has recovered every penny of money advanced. General Motors didn't. The Obama phone didn't. And all the other things that went on didn't. They're still upside down. But Fannie and Freddie have paid back every dime of their money. Now, that doesn't mean all the homeowners that lost their equity and the different things and that they've gotten their money back, because they have not. So there's still a loss there. But in terms of government support, Fannie and Freddie Mac would not be on that list anymore. They'd be a positive. In fact,
those numbers are actually a little less than Mark Zuckerberg you were talking about earlier.
Yeah, you want to do that one?
I just think it's a good
lead in.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, quiz number one.
Quiz number one is Mark Zuckerberg sold
$3.29
billion worth of stock. $3.29 billion worth of stock. How much did he retain in his pocket?
Yeah, what was it? What was his net gain in his pocket out of $3.29 billion? Now, I will tell you that let's say he liquidated $3.29 billion worth of stock. Some he did donate to charity, and someone in his pocket, and some went to taxes. So out of all the $3.29 billion, how much did he actually put in his pocket for Mark Zuckerberg on the Facebook liquidation there? And that will be probably one of our items for 2013, and certainly all the IPO activity. So we're going to give away on this call, we're going to give away 5 winners. And you could be the closest to it if you want. We'll just give a round up. Yeah. 339-1140. 1-800-920-1140. You can text us at 441140 if you'd like for a ski pass to Sierra at Tahoe, Round Table Pizza, whichever you prefer. So Mark Zuckerberg this year liquidated $3.29 billion of his stock holdings in Facebook. And how much did he actually put in his pocket of all that money? Whatever the number is, it's a big number. I get it, but there's more to the story when we come back. This is Talkin' Money. John Fodorero, Jeff Tarbell. We're going to be
right back, Jack.
Talkin' money.
Well, alrighty then. We're back to Talkin' Money with Jeff Tarbell.
Right. How you doing? Did you, too hard of a question or what? Really? It is a holiday weekend, so we'll come up with something easier then. We'll give away some ski passes. Maybe just give us your name and number, which, can be a test on a Saturday. It's early.
There's got to be somebody itching to get up there and do some skiing.
Oh,
and
absolutely. We'll handle it. We'll handle it. So this is the headline of the story, John. What's it say right there where my finger is?
$1 billion.
Yeah, Zuckerberg to pocket $1 billion in Facebook stock sale. So if you just read the headlines, you go, damn, he got all that money. I can't believe this. He's rich, I'm poor. It's terrible. It's not fair. Then you read the article, and you're like, oh my God. He sold he liquidated this is just this week. Okay, I'm going to get into the other thing. He liquidated $3.29 billion in stock value, and he got $1.1 billion. Now, I'm not real good with numbers, but that means like 2.1 billion went somewhere else. I'm just, if you go 3 fingers, you take away 1, it's like 2. So this is 1. This would be 2. So $2 billion went somewhere else. Now, I know $1 billion is a lot of money. I'm told that, and I probably could get by on it. But if someone started by handing me 3 and I only ended up with 1, I might be a little irritated. I might like a little rash on it, like
twitch.
Yeah, a little twitch. So Mr. Zuckerberg got $1.1 billion. The state and the federal government got $1.2 billion.
More than he did.
They got more than he did. Now, in the essence of fairness, that ain't fair. I don't care. I don't care. And it ain't fair. And the only reason he got to keep his $1.1 billion on the 3 is he donated $991 million in shares of stock to the Silicon Valley Community Foundation, which I don't know what that is, but he did, and that was this is interesting. So how much was he exercised his stock shares from 2005? How much was a share of stock of Facebook worth in 2005 on their books? Anyone want to take a quick guess? 6 cents. So his option was he had for 6 cents a share to exercise those and then sell them at whatever the current price was, 30, 40, 50 bucks, whatever piece. So in one standpoint, he was able to take 6 cents and donate it and get get a write off. This way he could save his money. You go back to 2012, he paid another $1.14 billion in taxes in 2012, and $500 million worth of donations in 2012 also. So just in this little gobbledygook here, he's given away close to $5 billion worth of his shares. He's roughly kept not even a quarter of it. And I'm not saying that be sad for the guy. And he's done very well, and $1 billion is still $1 billion. But come on, the government's making more money than you. And what did the government risk doing this? A damn thing. Nothing. What did they invest? All they do is get in your way. And they got 54. Here's the tax rate here in California. 53.8% of the taxes of the revenue went to the government. That makes me sick to my stomach. If it doesn't make you sick, then I'm sorry. Just wait. And if we all had to, this is why I would be a huge proponent of making everybody get their paychecks in gross dollars and making them write a check, like the self-employed do, every month or every quarter. Not have it auto-deducted. You write it out. Put it in your account, and then write it out. You write out one to Social Security, write out one here, the feds, the state, FICA, mama, papa, dada, everybody who's, at the suckle.
So you get a good feeling of
get
where
it all out
going.
there, because once it hits your account, it's really your money, and then it has to go back out. Then you'll be a little more, I don't know. Anywho, okay, we'll go on. That was one of my big stories for 2013. It was not just Facebook, but Twitter and everybody else, LinkedIn. Some of them skyrocketed, some of them tanked, but you saw some big-time money. The stock market, I don't even know if I have the number, 50-something record highs, individual record highs through the year, many of them in the last couple of months. And again, I raise my hand, why? Why? I don't get it. I don't get it. UPS is still doing okay. UPS is going to be under the thumb of another senator now who wants to investigate UPS's practices last week. Actually, this week Christmas was this week. They're
going to investigate all that. For wrongdoing, or
they felt like the community was wronged by UPS and FedEx. And I say to you this: if your Christmas gifts didn't arrive on time, order them earlier.
I agree 100%.
Or get off your butt and go pick one up.
Don't blame it on somebody else.
Now I get it. If you order today, it'll arrive by the Christmas Eve. You know what? UPS doesn't control the weather, although out here in California there is no such thing. And back east they do get a little snow. If your Christmas gift didn't arrive on time and you ordered it on the 23rd, too damn bad. Okay? Hey, let me tell you what. You right now have 360 days to go for next year. So if you're worried about your delivery, go ahead and order now.
Be prepared.
Get it shipped sometime around July. You'll be all cool. It'll be summer.
It's the first 2014 tip from Jeff Tarbell.
That's it. So another politician sticking his nose where it doesn't belong in the UPS. Give me a break. And I heard on the news the other day, the U.S. Postal Service wouldn't have done that. U.S. Postal Service would be out of business, dumbass, if we hadn't put $50 billion a year into the U.S. Postal Service would be on time. And I'm not beating on the Postal Service. Weather is weather. If planes get shut down, I don't care, unless you're bringing it old John Deere style or Johnny Revere, whoever's riding the horse, then it ain't coming. Okay, I'm sorry. We don't need an investigation into why you ordered your presents late and why it snowed. Okay, I could solve those for you. Another business venture for John and I in 2014. Right here.
Uh-oh.
Right
I don't even
here.
know I know about this one yet.
No, you do not. Because I am out of the mortgage business as of right now. I am into the fake knee surgery business.
Fake knee surgery.
Fake knee surgery. First of all, I am willing to cut your knee for a profit. I will jam something in your knee and call it surgery. And B, after we put you under, you won't know that we did anything or not. And apparently, under a controlled circumstance, most people who thought they had knee surgery were just fine as those that had real knee surgery. So, Johnny's going to knock you out. Chris is going to bring me a sharp blade, and I'm going to put a scar on your leg. I'm sorry, you're going to get scarred, and we're not going to do anything beyond that other than scar it and stitch it. And we're going to be fake knee surgeons. And isn't that going to look awesome on our resume? I'm a knee surgeon. A fake knee surgeon, but I'm a knee surgeon.
I'm a knee surgeon.
And that's why we charge half as much, because we only do half as much work. We just cut the knee open. We don't actually fix anything. Did you see that?
I did not see that.
Yeah, that is a true story. 149 trials with controlled. More clinical trials worldwide are using a control group of patients who undergo simulated procedures. Now, I don't know. I mean, they have to cut your knee, right? Because if you wake up and you look and you go, hey, my knee looks like it did whenever I went to sleep. Oh, no, we fixed it, sir. So you got to put a scar in there.
Oh yeah, at least a couple holes and
that's you could do like a little hole. Oh yeah, we found a new treatment right there. In the meantime, they're out. We're playing like pong, boing boing. Hey, wake him up. So anyway, fake knee.
Get him out of here. Next.
So I'm on to the 2014 now of businesses ahead. So you'll see a lot of mortgage people in the fake knee business, I'm sure, soon. Rates keep going up. We'll do that as well. Other items for 2013. How about Bitcoins? Or as I call it, big joke. But you, John, what you were telling me, some guy thought you should put 1% of your funds in the Bitcoins, huh?
Yes, that was in yesterday's. I think it was yesterday.
Was he a Bitcoin?
No, he's an analyst, and he was saying, well, at 1%, you basically you win or lose. So if everything goes to crap, then you have some Bitcoin to use.
But you can't actually touch it because there is no such thing as a Bitcoin, right? It's a computer.
But you can use it. I mean, this guy's selling his house for $7.84 million worth of Bitcoins.
Who's that?
This guy in Vegas.
Oh well, let's get on the after we. How many fake knee surgeries is that? How many do we need to? We could take Bitcoins in exchange for our work, and then we could buy a house in Vegas. We could actually fraud.
I like your thinking. Now you're thinking.
And how do what'll happen is we'll get to Vegas. We'll find out it's a Bitcoin house. It doesn't even exist. We'll have an unrealistic house there. Go ahead.
Vegas developer selling $7.85 million mansion for Bitcoin. Casino owner turned commercial developer is asking $7.85 million to sell his Las Vegas home. He's willing to accept the online currency Bitcoin for the deal.
Well, there you go. I don't know how you get a Bitcoin or what it looks like, but
Well, he got the idea to seek the Bitcoin for his 25,000 square foot mansion from his two sons who've been involved in making and trading the currency.
First of all,
making the currency.
See, we need to make, after doing knee surgery, we need to make some Bitcoins. And second of all, does anybody raise your hand if you want a 25,000 square foot house?
In Vegas.
In Vegas. Not me. Not me. I don't even want a 25,000 foot lot anymore in Vegas.
Can you pay your utility bills with Bitcoin, you think?
I don't know. And my last big one for 2013 would be clearly the Affordable Care Act and Obamacare. And that is going to have some resounding effects, assuming it all takes place. Notice I left off the list the Duck Dynasty. I didn't get into that.
They're back.
They're back. Shocker. A&E, who was got off their moral compass because there was $1 billion of Bitcoins to pick up on the ground, is going to, you know what? We were just kidding. We're not going to lose $1 billion worth of marketing money over $100 million worth of advertisers. So we'll pull that back. We apologize. And I don't think, they don't have to say they agree with him. They can just put a little big thing on, like they do at the beginning of this radio show. What comes out of his mouth is none of our business. CBS disavows any knowledge, and we didn't even give him the key. See, you're good. And I'm sure they would like to do that. So we got to take another break. I'm going to do this. You got a quiz question?
I do.
Which one is it?
Has to do with consumption.
Yeah. We'll do that one there, too. And at the end of the show, hang around to the end of the show today. I am going to give away 10 ski passes to Sierra Tahoe today. And I want 10 of you who have never, ever called this show. I mean, I know you called the names, but I mean, actually called into the show. And if you've never, and if you're not a skier and you want to give a gift to a skier or a boarder or someone, I'm looking for 10 new people. Just 10 people out there listening. There might only be 10 people listening today entirely. And 4 of them are here, so 6 of us.
Can I win? I've never called into the show.
You can win. Yes, you can. And I will pay 1,000 Bitcoins to see you on a snowboard make one run. I'll pay 10.
Top to bottom. I want to come
Have you ever
to.
been snowboarding?
Nope.
I'll make that $1,000 if you can get from the top to the bottom. And that would be worth a whole bunch of YouTube video hits. I'd just sell on that. So we'll see Christopher Lott on the hill. So anyway, John's quiz question is separate and distinct from my upcoming giveaway. So this question, if you won before, you can have at it. We'll give away, find a couple 3 winners of this one as well. 339-1140, or you can text us at 441140. Let her rip.
The U.S. currently consuming a little over 12 billion gallons of this.
I hope it's water
per year.
We need
now,
it
this
back.
is down from 16 billion at the height around 0506.
That's a pretty good drop. So we're down, but still 12 billion gallons
down
of
almost 25%, but we're still drinking over 12 billion gallons of this.
How much water's left in Folsom Lake? To give us an idea. It's probably about the whole lake was left. So I'm sorry. So 12 billion gallons down from 16 billion in the U.S. alone. This is not worldwide. This is in the United States. We drink 12 billion gallons of what? And it's going down. And it's panicking, these companies. 339-1140. 1-800-920-1140. Chris, give me your guess in my ear, not over there. And you can text us at 441140. Chris has got it right. If you know the answer to this, 12 billion gallons and declining of this product every year in the United States. This is Talkin' Money. He's John. I'm Jeff. That's Chris. It's Marge.
We're going to be
right back, Jack.
Talkin' Money.
And we're back to Talkin' Money. And here's Jeff Tarbell.
Here we go. All of a sudden, look down. There's about 55 texts there. I think our text machine finally warmed up.
It was a little cool in here this morning.
Yeah, it was. So we do have some. I don't know if you see some of the text winners there also. Chris, can you scroll that thing down at all a little bit? Like I might have missed a few. So we've got. We did get some winners though. We got all kinds of things here. Let me see. I'll just go right to there. There you go. Okay, so we got some winners there. So we'll get out. Anyway, this thing is just now catching up to me, so I apologize if I skipped over your text. We'll get back to these a little bit too. Our question was 12 billion gallons and dropping of what product? What was the answer?
The good old soda. Pop.
So 12 billion gallons down from 16 billion gallons of soda. That'll make your gut rot right there. And I'm an abuser too, at least a little less than in the past. But so we got some winners for that. We got a few Zuckerberg replies there from the 916. Jeff, can you explain the IRS decision for California short sale homeowners? I'm not sure exactly what you're referring to. I believe you're asking if there's still the waiver on any taxable debt relief for homeowners. Now, keep in mind, the IRS is the Fed, and so they have a rule for their taxes. The state of California has their own rule. Last I heard, I thought that actually 2013 was going to be the last year for California to provide a waiver. I think I saw an extension to that. Don't quote me on that one, though, for California. The feds, I believe, are still following at least one more year a waiver for debt relief, which means if you don't have to declare that as income. But I've got to believe that if 2014 If that holds for all the states and the feds, that'll probably be the last year. Would be my guess. And if you're not familiar with what we're talking about, if you short sold a home and $100,000 of the mortgage wasn't paid, typically you would be 1099 for the $100,000 as income. You have to pay taxes on that, which could be, anywhere from 10 to 50, 10 to 40%, depending on state and federal and other items too. So that could be a fairly ugly event for you. That's been put on waiver in the past, but that is going to change. Now, like I said, I think the Fed, at least through the end of this year, is still good. And can you find 14 on there or not?
No, I just see SB 391 that's saying, before January 1st, 2014, but I don't think anything.
Yeah, that's the state. Anyway, we can look at that a little further for you. For 13, I know you're safe. Going forward, I don't know. And so if you're looking at doing a short sale in the next year, you may not have to, because the market's picked up so much. But if you do have to, check with a CPA or check with an accountant on what you can do, because there are some things you can do. A couple last-minute items you can do for 2013 to lower your tax bill. Some of these you might take a look at real quick. You got a couple business days left to do this. Take investment losses. So if you have some, the market did pretty well this year. You may not have any losses, but if you have some items in there that that were dogs, you might look at liquidating those on Monday and recouping some of those losses. For some of you that are married or unmarried under $72,000 in income, there is a zero rate gain on long-term capital gains for some of you in those lower tiers of income. You can actually take some gains and not pay any taxes on them. So it might be a good idea to do that too. You can certainly make some charitable contributions. If there's some items around your house, you want to make some donations or donate some gifts or different items, get them done on Monday. Get those in before the end of the year. Maximize your medical and miscellaneous deductions, and make annual gifts. You can do some gifts to some family members as well. So some things you can still do. There's not much you can do as far as altering your income now. There's only 2 days left, and maybe you can ask your boss to pay you on the 1st, not the 31st, and push that into next year. Beyond that, you probably are looking for deductions at this point. You got something there? No?
No, I haven't found anything.
Looking forward into 2014, this one I think is going to be very interesting. Let me know what your thoughts are. 6 Californians. Have you heard of this? Not Californians, but 6 Californias. Initiative would put Placer in North California. This keeps coming and coming back up and coming back up and coming back up. According to this proposal, California be split into 6 different states: Jefferson, California, Central California, Silicon Valley, West California, South California, and North California. 6 Californias. And this makes total sense to me from a logical standpoint, and that is that if you are in the northern part of the state, where you have completely different needs, wants, values probably. Do you feel like the people in Sacramento are representing you properly? Probably not. If you are in the Bay Area or Silicon Valley or SoCal and you're living with 4 million other people with you and you're putting the majority of the income into the state coffers, do you care what happens in some of the other regions? And probably not. So certainly you get a state that is this large, this diverse, this geographically spread out, and you're going to find some conflict. How do you separate California's? 6 seems high to me.
Yeah.
I know why they're doing it. We would be North California, I think, which is the purple section on this map. Who else is in North California? Let's see here. Let's see if we want to be neighbors with our neighbors here. Amador County. Good wine. They're in. El Dorado County. They have half the lake we got to be in. Marin's a nice area. Napa for sure. We're getting all the good wine zones here.
So far, so good.
Nevada County, definitely. Placer County, that's where I live. Sacramento County for sure. Sierra County. I'm thinking about where Sierra County is. Solano County, Sonoma, another good one. Sutter, Yolo, and Yuba. I think it takes them the good with the bad. There ain't much going on in Yuba and Yolo. I've been up there. Oh, Yolo's Davis. That's Yuba and Sutter, and I did a bunch of work up there in the great areas. They're going to be in part of North California also. So
you just take out Bay Area, Silicon Valley. Is that what it sounds like?
Yeah, Placer's new state would extend from the Pacific Ocean to Lake Tahoe. It would incorporate some liberal areas like Marin and Yolo, as well as conservative strongholds of Placer and El Dorado. Well, Sacramento County is often viewed as liberal, and in fact could be one of the most politically balanced counties in the state. I believe that. City of Sacramento tends to go more liberal, but Sacramento County, and we've talked about this a lot on the show. There's a reason why you see so many new products from around the world that are brought here on a trial basis to Sacramento to begin with, because if it can do something here, it can probably do something anywhere, because we have just such a good, diverse group of ethnicity, income, just religious beliefs, political beliefs. I mean, it's a very, very good melting pot of all of those. And so if you're gonna bring out a new soda, even though soda's going down 25%, so you'd bring it to Sacramento. We see a lot of stuff that probably people in the country never see. It comes here, it doesn't do well, probably won't do well. Comes here and hits it big, they'll take it and take it on, run with it. So it's very interesting. But would you vote for the 6 counties? Would you do it? I'm sorry, for the 6 Californias.
Yeah, I agree. I think 6 might be too much, but I like the ring of it.
I could see 3. Yeah, I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't go from basically Sacramento all the way north. Just take the north. I mean, I don't think the people up in Redding and
Humboldt.
Yeah, are too much different anyway. So that's something we can talk about next year. It'd be interesting to see whether that moves forward or not as well. We've got a couple minutes left. Here's our last chance. If you want a ski pass to Sierra Tahoe, you got to call right now. 339-1140. You've given away 6. 339. We'll do 5 more. 339-1140. You got to call, and if it's ringing, just let it ring for a little bit, because we'll take some numbers. Or you can text me your full name and address to 441140 if you want a ski pass to Sierra Tahoe and you have not won something this year, so we don't recognize your name. And if you do a fake name with a real address, we're going to match them up. We know who you are. Send Chris to your house and make him ski board in your front yard there. Give us a call right now, 339-1140. No obligation, no have to answer anything.
Get up to Sierra Tahoe and
Sierra Tahoe and get up there and do it. You probably see John. John will give you some boarding lessons if you want. He's got nothing else to do. Or you can text us your name and address to 441140. That is the last minute of the last show of this year, and it has been one hell of a year. And I say this, I don't know why you listen. Some of you don't. But for those of you that do, and some of you that are very adamant about you listening, and it's been phenomenal. And it was very humbling to John and I both. To people say they enjoy listening, and we enjoy doing it. Believe me. If we didn't enjoy doing it, Saturday morning comes awfully early. We wouldn't be here. So I hope you have a safe new year. I hope 2014 is good for all of us, because collectively we all do well together, or we don't. And please pray for some snow. We need it.
Please.
Yes, soon. You can find us on the Talkin Money Facebook page, johnfod.com, jefftarbell.com. We'll see you next year. Thanks, Chris, for all your help. Aloha, everybody.
Talkin' money.